Hello and welcome to Movie Phone. Blockbuster Shrinks is playing now. So this is random. I was just thinking about this the other day. I remember as a kid, right? There wasn't internet. I'm sure. Well, I think internet was in the 80s and 90s, right? But I didn't know about internet.
It didn't really become a thing till like
Yeah.
the late 90s, late
And
90s.
I remember the first time we got internet, it was dial-up, right? And so you had to, yeah. And so and no one could be using the phone, right? Otherwise
Yeah.
it'd kick you off the internet.
Yeah.
Unless you
Yeah.
had, unless you're like a well-off family and you had
You had
two phone lines.
We
Yeah.
had two phone lines. We had two. We
I
weren't
think
well off,
we
but we
did
had two.
at one point for a
My
short period of time.
my brother and I had our own phone line upstairs in our
Oh, you
bedrooms.
guys are fancy.
And so we do have a phone
We
line.
did at one point. I can't remember why. My mom ran a business out of our house too. She was did a home daycare, so maybe that's why we had it. But I remember the first time we got it, and it was, what was it, like 64 kilobyte per second, I think, was like a fast dial-up connection.
You'd like I remember being at college and downloading like a picture of a combustion engine,
Oh, and it
a
just
car
would like
engine.
slowly like
It took like an hour, and then it was this like really basic GIF of like an explosion and the piston going like.
yep. And we remember like you just watch the screen, it like slowly from the top down, just inch, or
Oh
not
yeah,
even
yeah.
inch, but like centimeter
Like a
by
pixel
centimeter.
line, like a pixel line at a time, like an old like
Yeah.
printer. You know the old printers that'd be like, "Boing, boing."
Watching these old movies kind of make me think about these things. But I was thinking about this the other day just because we uh we had we had like a promotional price with, we have fiber optic internet through AT&T, and the year came up, and so my wife called and they're like, oh yeah, for 20 bucks more a month you can go up to a gigabyte per second download.
That sounds fast.
And I'm just thinking, well, like I remember the first high speed internet I had was a megabyte per second download speed. And then we had 3 megabytes per
I don't
second.
think I've ever paid attention to like.
And now, our last one was 300 megabytes per second, which I thought was incredibly fast. And now they're like, oh yeah, for 20 bucks more a month, you can have HBO Max for free, and we'll up it to 1,000 megabytes per second. And I'm just like, whoa. And I just think
I'm
about that,
always
like,
like, what do
mind
you need
blown.
it? Like, what do you need it for? I guess if you're a gamer and you want to make sure you're killing first, then your dial-up speed or
It
your
definitely
up
is
download speed would be.
faster. I
I
think
guess
if
we
you had a
noticed when we.
big family where everyone's on all the
Yeah, if
time,
you're like 5 people
that
on or
probably
multiple people.
helps.
Yeah.
But for 20 bucks, I was like, I mean, HBO Max is 15 a month all by itself. So
I
for
think
$5 a month, I could up it
I think when we
700 megabytes per
I think
second.
when we look at
But
me.
anyways, I'm sorry, that was off topic. I just it cracks me up sometimes when I do things and I think back as a kid and I'm like, oh man, when I was a teenager and I had dial up, I thought it felt so awesome, but it was so
Dude,
slow.
emails were such a big deal.
Oh yeah, remember the um the You've Got Mail. Who was that
You've got
through?
mail.
Yeah.
It was AOL.
AOL, thank you. I was like,
You've got
I'm
mail.
AT&T stuck in my mind. I was like, it's another A. What was
Dude,
it?
yeah, that's a
AOL.
company
And you
that
used to
like
get the discs in the mail. Do you remember
yeah,
those?
for the
You get
updates or
for the
whatever.
500 minutes free or whatever, or 1,000 minutes.
Yeah.
You get the discs all the
Yeah.
time.
Dude, AOL like was one of those companies that like blew up and then disappeared. I think it's still around. I feel like I've seen an AOL email. My
Yeah, I
grandpa was
think the
still
emails still exist, but I
rocking.
think it's probably bought over by someone and they just retained
Yeah,
the domain or something.
sure.